Let me take you back to a simpler time. It was late 2002 and my dad brought home our first ever console, a second-hand Xbox. It came with 4 games, Halo Combat Evolved, which I loved, Munch's Odyssey, which I hated, Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell, which I sucked at, and The Simpsons Road Rage. I'm not ashamed to admit that I clocked in quite a few hours on this game, so I thought I might review it since my Simpsons skateboarding review went down surprisingly well. So, before the Tony Hawk rip-off that is The Simpsons skateboarding, Radical Entertainment created a rip-off of the popular Sega driving game Crazy Taxi. This game was known as The Simpsons Road Rage, but unlike The Simpsons skateboarding, this game was actually good, and Radical would also go on to make The Simpsons Hit and Run, another good game. Road Rage was also published by EA, but let's overlook that. So the story is as follows. Mr. Burns has unveiled a new line of nuclear-powered buses which, as Lisa is quick to point out, are a threat to public health and safety. Homer gets the idea to start a taxi service to try and earn enough money to buy the bus service off of Mr. Burns and save the day. A number of characters evidently decide to join his cause because you can unlock several other playable characters including, but not limited to, Professor Frink, Barney Gumble, Snake, Ned Flanders and the rest of the Simpsons family as well. The main story is split into 2 modes. The first mode is Road Rage, where you pick up passengers and ferry them around Springfield on a time limit. The more time left on the clock, the bigger your tip, and there are 2 bonuses that sometimes pop up, a $250 safe trip bonus for avoiding collisions with other cars, and a destruction bonus of $1,000 if you can knock over enough shit en route to your destination. I found this particularly hilarious when I picked up groundskeeper Willie, who wanted me to destroy stuff on the way to church, and the easiest way to do so was to stop by the school and destroy his own shack. Bet he wished he'd thought that one through. Assisting you is a large yellow hand pointing you in the direction of your destination, which will always lead you down the most obvious route but not necessarily the quickest one. Meaning that if you want to score big points, you'll have to familiarise yourself with the maps and be able to find shortcuts that the hand won't direct you to. The game also won't register you picking up or dropping off passengers unless you come to a complete stop, which means you can easily fly straight through your destination without dropping off your passenger. Passengers jump out when the timer runs out, but I found that if you manage to stop just as the passenger is jumping out, it still counts, and if you've got a safety or destruction bonus, you get that extra money regardless of how quickly you got them there, so take your time completing those ones. As you drive around your chosen location, you may encounter Mr. Burns being chauffeured around by Mr. Smithers. Aside from that, the nuclear buses are also running rampant. These guys are a little more than a minor annoyance, but they can slow your progress, so watch out for them if you're on a time limit. Once you've accumulated enough money to buy the transit system, you complete the game. Well, almost. The second mode is Mission Mode. There are 10 missions in all, and they range from knocking over a certain amount of stuff to getting to a certain destination without being hit by Mr. Burns. The trick to these missions is to know where everything is. Once you've got that sussed, it's not too bad. For the most part. Some missions are pretty easy and can be done in one try, and others are an absolute ball ache. The one I found hardest being the mission Not the Trees, in which you have to knock down piles of neatly stacked logs that are sparsely populated around a rather large area on a tight time limit. On top of that, you have to hope to God that when the mission starts you don't get a randomly spawned car right in front of you when the mission starts, because it costs you precious seconds that you don't have. I failed this mission quite a lot, and if you fail the mission and select retry, you have to sit through quite a long loading time until you're allowed to try again. No! No! So close! Come on! No! And here's the icing on the proverbial cake. If you fail the mission enough times, it taunts you by going, "Aw, is this too hard for you? How about you just skip this mission? You don't have to do it if it's too difficult for you." Right, I'm going to break my usual pattern and go right instead of left. That way I'll miss one pile but hit 2 more. Right, now we have to gun it and hope we don't run into anything. Come on, almost there.
Get out of the way!
Yes!
One, loggers 0. Let that be a lesson to you all. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Thank you for your cooperation.
Right. To be fair, despite the difficulties I had with some of the missions and the long loading times, I was able to complete all 10 missions in about 45 minutes. The final mission is to destroy the statues in Burns' mansion, which unlocks the car that Homer designs in the episode where he meets his brother. It's purely cosmetic, and to be honest, it looks like total arse. So that's basically the game, but for the casual gamers who just want a quiet, peaceful drive, this game also offers the Sunday drive option. In this mode, there are no time limits. You just give free rides to anyone you choose, meaning that you can pick up as many or as few people as you want. This mode is great for exploration and makes a good practice mode if you want to break yourself in slowly and get to know the terrain. Okay, scoring time. The game isn't very story heavy, but I completed it enough times as a kid to conclude that it must have made me care enough to see it through. As a score, I give it a 65, comfortably above average and in a completely different league to The Simpsons skateboarding. Would I play it again? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I will. Maybe not to completion on account of how samey the gameplay gets. I just don't have the patience to grind like I did when I was a kid. Too busy playing big boy games like Sonic the Hedgehog and whatnot. And that's The Simpsons Road Rage. Good game. If you've got any other games you want me to do, leave me a comment. I'm not promising anything, but who knows? Maybe I'll find the time. So, until next time, what are you still doing here? Fuck off.